are going to receive some bans. Haven't seen Gallium in quite a while, but we have seen this a little from FlyQuest. Seems like a team that always wants to play their own style and is struggling a bit to adapt to the patch.
And we are still seeing some top lane Galio. I believe Impact has played some of that pretty recently. We've seen, obviously, from mid lane quite a bit as well from Bjergsen. So you do still have to kind of target that if people want to play those sorts of styles. It works very well as a follow-up engage or roaming to those side lanes. So certainly can be a pretty powerful pick, but it has in general been much more about Zac, Cho'Gath, Maokai as those kind of supreme tanks. So we'll see where the focus in Pick a Man goes on them.
Well, Elise ban for FlyQuest and a Cho'Gath ban for C9, so kind of wondering if they want to ban Zac and try and get Maokai or leave them both open and make a trade.
Well, I mean, for now, if C9 bans one, FlyQuest can simply ban the other, but then you do have Caitlyn or Thresh. Those have been really the big first picks that would be available. You have to be a bit careful about what you're giving over. If FlyQuest does ban out the Maokai here, then C9's probably going to have a pretty advantageous first pick. Otherwise, FlyQuest could try to leave that open and take, say, Thresh plus the other one and try to get a really powerful second two picks, which, in my opinion, may be the stronger option here.
Well, we'll have to see. FlyQuest thinking long and hard about this final ban, as Zac was the third ban there for C9 on the blue side. Contracts has played it recently, but like you said, looking to try and set something up. And the Tom Kench ban for FlyQuest now sets up. What do you first pick here?
Well, this is really, they're trying to set up for a second round Thresh on top of whatever else it is. They're saying, Cloud9, you will pick Maokai or Caitlyn. We will take Thresh plus the other one. And now Cloud9 really has to decide where can they actually get the most out of this. And this is a discussion it looks like Reaper is actually having with Sneaky. You know, is the first pick Caitlyn worth it? Can you dominate lane enough against Wild Turtle Elimination for us to make that pick? And they are not going to go for it. So you have to be expecting Caitlyn Thresh as the first round come over here from FlyQuest, which would give a very powerful bot lane to FlyQuest.
Well, there's the Thresh, which is what we expected. Maokai was the kind of expected first pick, but Jarvan's going to follow there for FlyQuest. So giving back over Caitlyn if Sneaky wants it.
That's really surprising to me. I mean, they're going to take it for sure. I would have to think. I would be shocked if it goes through to actually the third round right there. J4 obviously is a strong pick, and it is something that Impact does like to play a lot. So they are concerned perhaps about that pick. And it also has been a flex for FlyQuest, which can be quite nice, as Moon has shown that he will play this in the jungle here too. But definitely surprising to see it over Caitlyn.
Yeah, it almost feels like Moon actually prefers to jungle it rather than have it go to balls in the top lane. But certainly our options there is the Caitlyn will be given over to C9. In some ways, it just feels like FlyQuest is saying, we're confident in our game plan, just take what we know you're going to take anyway.
The other thing could be they want to go for a Thresh Kalista. I mean, you can do that with the third pick if you're saying, hey, they're actually going to go for the Caitlyn. If you think that you can bully and really go aggressive with Tom Kench taken off the table, then you can go for this kind of all-in option, this more aggressive lane. Passively, you will get bullied out, but I mean, Thresh with Ignite, fantastic gank assist from this champion. If you draft Kalista here, then you have a kill bot lane, and you could look to really try to take over, especially because Cloud9 has not actually drafted their support in the first round. You could target this even more heavily, banning out more of the melee supports that Smoothie likely would want to play, taking away things perhaps like the Braum or the Taric, but it's not going to be the option.
Yeah, actually a Rumble pick there for FlyQuest. There's two different solo laners kind of rounding out these phase 1 picks. I mean, Syndra for Jensen blocks a lot of picks and is good against high, and Jensen's most played champion, tied for 14 players at Orianna. Paul's is going to Rumble, but this is a weird one for me. And what do you ban is kind of the next question.
I really am not a fan of the FlyQuest draft so far. Part of my problem with this is, okay, great. Rumble is pretty strong into Maokai, so that would be a reasonable matchup. You can so easily put Maokai into the jungle and then draft something like a Camille that can actually take over against the Rumble, especially when you have the fantastic ganks coming out of someone like the Maokai. Like, that's such an easy setup to actually pressure and even dive on this Rumble. So that is my big concern for FlyQuest and their draft. As far as what they ban out, I mean, if you have the Thresh, it's probably going to be some focus on the melee supports, as I had talked about earlier. So Braum going to be taken off the table. They could put even more focus there. Yeah, those are the two that I called out earlier, the Braum and the Taric. And it does make a lot of sense. You take away the melee supports, you try to put Smoothie onto an Enchanter, onto one of these kind of more squishy supports, and then you look to really get work done. Even yesterday against TSM, we saw how much focus FlyQuest was putting on the bot lane. Moon on J4 in game 1 went there constantly alongside Lemon's Thresh.
And Cloud9 kind of responding in kind with Jhin and Kalista both banned away from Wild Turtle. So kind of trading this Rumble pick for Wild Turtle, losing a lot of options here in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I just don't even think that Rumble was something that would really be targeted by Cloud9 in the bans. I could obviously be wrong about that. We'll see how much they're really going to be able to get out of that pick, because you're getting pushed down pretty far as the priority goes on AD carries as Wild Turtle. At this stage, you're looking at a lot of the hyper carries, which does kind of take away some of that laning power and laning oomph if you were trying to go for that Thresh and bring in your jungler constantly. But there are obviously things like Twitch, there is Tristana, there is something like the Kog'Maw as well. But those are all champions that are less lane dominant than some of the options that have been taken and banned away.
And looks like maybe Bud will make another appearance here for Smoothie. You said kind of pushed other champions. Blitz is the other one. It's 100% on both these champions, so these are the kind of things we expect when we saw the Playmaker supports come back into the metagame.
And I mean, this makes a lot of sense, right? Look at the targeting in the bans for FlyQuest. He essentially picked one of the last meta melee supports, right? Blitz can be a bit tankier. He's not instantly going to die if you get actually hooked out by this Thresh. And this is a matchup that Smoothie has played a number of times. So maybe they were expecting to be pushed down onto that. And this is another thing that I was kind of talking about, right? Where the Maokai can simply be flexed to jungle. You take a more aggressive top laner. You look to actually pick on and snowball balls on this Rumble. It is going to be Tristana. So, I mean, it's certainly a strong draft still for FlyQuest. If you're just looking at actually the team composition, it is pretty powerful. But that being said, the way this is actually matched up across the board, I pretty heavily favor Cloud9. I mean, I think that they got the stronger jungler. I think that their top lane matchup is very good. Caitlyn certainly is heavily advantageous into Tristana early on. Even the Syndra, I mean, it's not like they're really losing anything there. It really does feel like a stronger lane-by-lane draft for Cloud9, and their team fighting is also going to be pretty powerful. That being said, we know there's a lot of AoE damage coming out of FlyQuest, and if they can pull off their combo, it will be extremely big, because you hit the Cataclysm, you throw down the Shockwave, you have the Equalizer. Like, that is a lot of team fight power. They just have to execute.
And it's pretty simple, which I think is probably quite important for FlyQuest. This is a team that, on aggressive junglers, Jarvan certainly qualifies there for Moon. They're able to get advantages relatively easily, and maybe having a simpler way to transition into mid and late game will help them.
It certainly can. One of the issues with that is Impact is on someone who can just kind of stay in a sideline and keep split pushing and threaten to join or collapse with his ultimate, with the teleport. If they get Impact ahead on Kled, Balls is really going to struggle to split push against that. And that means that you're kind of drawing pressure away and you're not allowing FlyQuest to create these 5v5 fights that they really do need to succeed.
And I think in general, you kind of don't want... That's a good sign.
That is a great sign. I think a perfect 5 out of 7.
The best possible score.
It is the best possible score.
Incredible. Well, we're out on the Rift at game at number 1. It is War once again out on Summoner's Rift. Cloud9 taking on FlyQuest. Definitely curious to see how Impact's Kled has perhaps refined. He's played it a couple times already. It hasn't looked amazing, but certainly all of Cloud9 are trying to, I think, diversify a little more. And like you said, play themselves into form approaching playoffs.
Yeah, and both teams are on pretty opposite trajectories. Cloud9 has won 3 straight. FlyQuest has lost 3 straight. So they are looking to kind of reverse their fates. And FlyQuest really does want to stay out of those bottom 2 spots to avoid going to promo relegation. And Cloud9 is really jockeying for position in the playoffs. I mean, so far, yes, they still could get 3rd place, but that is not fully in their hands.
No.
The big win, though, is not getting 6th. Because the top 3 teams in the LCS have been a fair bit stronger throughout the season. So if you can avoid a TSM or an Immortals or even a CLG in that first matchup, that is going to be pretty helpful for you, right? Playing up against someone like Envy or maybe even Dignas could be the easier match.
Well, you can see just some early fanning out here. Sapling put down by Contracts pretty aggressively, but isn't going to get too much information. High with the ball spotting in the river just there, but this is all pretty standard stuff right now. Kind of curious to see where Contracts wants to start, but loading up that brush next to the blue buff means we already know it's going to be on this first buff here. Moon looking for a Raptor start and Balls roaming down to possibly help with a buff as well.
Yeah, going to be able to start up on this blue, and you see how Contracts actually spaces out his saplings. So the first sapling is going to immediately proc, and the idea is to kind of have them spaced out enough so as the dot expires from those empowered saplings, the next procs, because while the additional damage all does go off, the dot does not stack. So having that little spread allows you to do that very, very quickly. Leash was also there for Moon, so he's going to start on red. We have to always remember for Moon that he is someone who actually is pretty aggressive on this Jarvan and has gone for a lot of level 2 plays, but Sneaky gonna have to be careful about that.
Yeah, he took
Already very low.
Took a lot of damage in that early trade. I mean, a great hook from Smoothie onto Lemon, but Sneaky's certainly losing out in the health department. They're really just racing to level 2 here.
Yeah, and I mean, the hook is good, but Sneaky was already chunked out and couldn't really follow up on that. But yeah, Moon has... I mean, he's taking a lot of damage. Lemon and Turtle are actually playing this very well. They're utilizing the play to pull him back in for the explosive shot, so Turtle can get multiple stacks of that off and really chunk Sneaky out. So this has been very well done.
Whoa, Lemon straight in. Turtle wants to go for it as well. Now Smoothie maybe caught as Sneaky splashed away. A great hook from Lemon is going to land. The Ignite is down and Smoothie just has to run. He's got his flash. He used it. Hooks into the turret. Last hit there, but it's not quite enough. The Ignite's good, but Lemon Nation picks up the kill. Turtle gets reset.
Jarvis here as well.
And Sneaky, he's just trying to fight. Gonna slay his old teammate. The headshot is enough for Lemon Nation, but Moon's gonna play clean up. Sneaky goes down.
Oh, what a crazy fight there. FlyQuest playing the lane out so incredibly well, and now more action in the mid lane.
Yep, great damage there from Jensen, gonna chunk down high.
That was honestly so impressive from FlyQuest. The way that they utilized their level 1, always combining the explosive shot when they throw out that flay to chunk Sneaky down and then perform this level 2 all in was so, so good. It was close to going bad, though. I mean, Turtle actually gets into the bush with 1 hit of health, basically. I'm sure we'll get to see this again, but Contract's looking.
Oh, the flash gonna follow. Cleanse out from high, but the knockback not quite enough. A bit of a slow there from the Bramble Smash, but Smoothie not in range to hook.
Still trading 1 summoner for the 2. Nicely done there from Contracts, and Ball's not really going to be able to get too much done here. C9 has 3 members here as well. I think that they should be fine.
Great W. Getting out from under potential CC of the Thresh, and Contracts able to walk away quickly, but we have seen so often.
So here's the play again, and it's immediately on level 2. Elimination flash forward. Double play, very well done. Quick flash back, though, from Sneaky, and is able to return quite some damage. Smoothie, he's pretty much going down, but he lands a really good hook, gets the turret shot down. Sneaky does not have vision, though, cannot actually finish this off. And Smoothie going down means that Turtle gets the reset on the rocket jump. Sneaky at least is able to actually complete that 1 kill. You know, had Moon hit that actually flag and drag, maybe the animation wouldn't have gone off.
Oh, Lemon caught again. Jensen picking up a freebie.
You got to imagine that was a hook, pulling him in there, and they do get another kill back. But we are dead even.
Yeah, 2 kills apiece. Gold's nice and close, and you know, everyone just starting with a bit of extra money this time around. You know, much nicer way to start your League of Legends game. So everyone's feeling involved.
And I'm imagining he is going to get pulled in. We'll see. But Lemon taking a pretty random path, actually, just kind of wandering through the jungle. And with the TP coming in, Moon has no chance to actually help him. So smart cancel there from Impact. But yeah, that is pretty strange that he's actually all the way over there himself.
I think roaming a little too aggressively, and that was kind of the thing I was going to point out earlier, in that so much of Cloud9's success has come through Jensen, but usually almost always helped by Smoothie or Contracts, and a lot of times both.
Yeah, Moon is back to the bot lane. They know summoners are down, so they're going to try to repeat this play, but Fresh without Flash, it's a lot harder to set it up. And here comes Jarvan now.
Crap, not armed in time, but Ball's roaming to the mid lane. Jensen, no mana, great Flash. Gets away as Moon spotted on the control ward, has to try again in bot lane.
And that costs the Ghost too, so a great roam there from Balls, alleviating a lot of the pressure, because Jensen has been kind of building up this CS lead. And with the double summoner advantage, High would have been under a lot of pressure. So that was a very important roam and a successful one by the FlyQuest top lane.
Yep, Jensen not going to miss too much, thankfully. Nice big wave stacking up. High taking a while to clear it out with no mana, so should be okay there.
I mean, Jensen is okay to base on the cannon wave. The reason that people talk about that cannon wave as that really key time to base is because it actually absorbs 8 turret shots. So the fact that it takes that many shots means you have time to get back to lane, and it's not denying all the smaller minions, so you're not losing all that experience in gold. That's why you'll see so many professional players actually time their base as a cannon is coming out. You try to push it in, you back up, and you're only going to usually lose 1 or 2 minions of experience on that base.
Yep, and Jensen lost a creep. 1 little melee minion with not very much health there. So despite the nice run from Ball, it's not hurting too much. Charity returns with his lost chapter and an app to him to boot. 10 CS lead up on High, but High got his base in as well. Not feeling too bad about the situation.
No, definitely not. Contracts is looking perhaps to return to the scene with Prime, though. And so far, so good in the top lane. Impact has not gone back to base, but they're actually looking to fight here. This could be dangerous. Impact's not adding a lot of damage.
Impact's level 6 though, so Contract, they should have the CC, but their balls with the ultimate is going to equalize. Impact though still trying to fight. Needs to remount quickly. Balls, this has too much damage. Flash forward, gets a 1v2 kill. And now driving up here in the top side, Contract still going to get burnt down as well. Moon grabs the second.
I have no idea what Cloud9 is thinking there. As I said, he hasn't based. He has no damage. How are you actually going to burst this guy down? This is a level 6 Rumble, and that was just awful from Cloud9. I mean, they really had no business going for that gank. This is just, like, look how little damage he's doing. He's sitting on a Doran shield. Sure, if he just based and came back with a Phage, then this is actually a pretty easy kill with all the added damage, but they don't really do anything. Contracts has no damage purchase, not even a Bomby Cinder or anything, and I mean, he might have even been able to complete the 1v2 had his jump not even come.
More action, Lemonation could be in trouble. One more shot, maybe two. A Smoothie flashes forward, Sneaky trying to weave in the last order, but can't get it. Next forward, needs to go flash order. He's going to seal the deal. Now Turtle going to get knocked up. The trap not quite positioned properly in Turtle. He's looking for the kill. He's got vision in the brush. The minions are helping Turtle. Jumps in 1v2, looking for it.
No mana to run out.
Kill. Turtle flashes, gets knocked up by Smoothie. Contracts is down here, but Smoothie needs to land one more hook. Does lead it, and Contracts gets the kill, but high. He's roamed down as well. He's got the shockwave. No flash yet for the Orianna. As Smoothie going to overdrive and book it out of the way, but the shockwave is going to land. The TP down from Impact, going to try and knock one down. Contracts looking to chase, but he can't go under the turret. Impact does not complete.
What a crazy game. So many kills across the map there. Both teams playing it pretty well. As here is the fight once again. Lemonation looks for the hook, but it actually catches the minion, so this prompts the all-in. They are able to take down Lemon pretty quickly, but the problem is when you're committing this much to a support, Turtle is free-firing the whole time on Sneaky, so despite the fact that the play started so incredibly advantageous for C9, Turtle's able to turn it back, gets the kill onto Sneaky. The fact that he's run completely out of mana, though, means he's not really able to get fully away. Had the rocket jump reset, but Smoothie nails the hook, and they do get the 2-for-1. Eventually, though, cleaned up by High.
Yep, High with a good roam there to equalize the kill score. So 6-4, 10 kills and 9 minutes of play so far. This is the kind of game I do enjoy.
Me too, man. I actually really like these advantageous action games. Either way, on top side, Ball's going to be looking really good. And we talked about, you know, kind of the split push threat coming out of Impact. That is going to be pushed back quite a bit now because Ball's got the kill, because he got the assist, and he's doing very well. It's going to take a lot longer for Impact to really get to this stage where he can take over. And I think the early Seekers makes a lot of sense for Balls. We may even see him go for something like Stabbies, but bite on the bot side.
2v2 again, hook left from Lemon after the play. Sneaky absolutely dead to Turtle.
Oh my god, this bot lane is just so explosive, and Turtle and Lemon getting another kill down there. And now Turtle is actually starting to pick up some of these kills. It's not just, you know, that first blood going over to Lemon. He's going to be getting pretty strong. And the bot side has really gone awry for Cloud9.
Yeah, it looks like a dive was going to be attempted there in mid lane, but FlyQuest are pressuring to the bot side.
Impact is coming down, though. They have the Kled ultimate. They could look to try to clean this up. Nice shockwave.
Good damage on the Jensen. Not quite enough to dismount Impact. As Fly still pressuring down on that turret. Looks like Smoothie's made it back. Turtle's trying to finish it off. Does get it. Takes the lantern out to safety. Nice sidestep on the hook, though, just to make sure.
Yeah, Turtle waiting out that hook. He was kind of expecting Smoothie to look to try to hook him out of the lantern. He did go for this, but that is just such a nice engage again from Lemon. And Lemon, I don't think, looked that clean on Thresh yesterday. It was actually his first appearance on the champion this split yesterday against TSM. And today he is looking really clean, making a lot of good plays to really set up Turtle.
Yeah, I mean, this 2v2 is going great for FlyQuest. I missed the Buster shot until I saw it in the replay. I wondered how Sneaky ended up so far up in the lane, but it's really good all-ins.
Yeah, it is, and Turtle's utilizing the rocket jump very, very well also. When you actually proc the explosive shot, you know, fully with your autos, and it doesn't just expire, you reset that rocket jump. So he's utilizing it to go in, reset, and go out. And Sneaky may be getting picked off here again. We'll see if Smoothie can get over there to help.
Thunderlord's already procced. Moon getting aggressive. He's got his ulti, but Smoothie going to try and protect his carry. Needs to knock one up. Gets Lemon, gets a silence down as well. He's going to get hooked as a result, but now Contract's roaming down the hook. He's going to land for Smoothie, and now Lemonation might be too far forward. Jensen also made it here as Turtle. Going to join the fray. That's a kill on the Moon as Jensen able to pick up his second, another Kled ulti. Where is Impact coming from?
He's topside. He's trying to fight.
Canceling a TP, I think, but Impact now going to get dismounted. Balls might be able to get a kill 1v1. Impact trying to remount, dodges the first harpoon. Who's going to get back on a skull and try and book it out of the way? Jensen kills Lemon, but Impact trying to turn back over this 1v1. Just on the balls for one. Shield up there as he just back again. Impact misses the bear trap. And now High is going to try and force him away. Impact needs to be dismounted once again, and he does have his flash. Going to try and find Balls and make his heroic play, but High shuts that down.
Balls just barely able to pull that off. Impact missing the last bear trap on a rope there. Decides to conserve the flash and goes down. Balls, those early kills, that little gold advantage that he accrued from the big mistake Cloud9 had topside, gives him just enough to survive and take down that kill.
All right, turrets finally traded as C9 do pick up the bottom outer after FlyQuest already got it. Still up 1,000 gold for Fly as we'll watch this one again. Sneaky just trying to book it back towards safety.
I think Moon is trying to hold on to the ultimate, maybe for a flash, which is actually down from Sneaky, but or maybe even the 90 caliber net, but I don't believe you can actually 90 caliber net out of the Jarvan ult, so he should have just used it earlier. Either way, Smoothie does arrive, the help comes in, and then there's no real chance to actually fight this once Jensen comes down too. The easy kill goes there on the Moon, and that was a good call from you. Kled ultimate was used to actually cancel the Rumble TP on the top side, and that's what ended up getting them into the fight up there.
And then Lemon gets ulted by Caitlyn. Is like, yeah, he just can't really run. Contract flashes on, and that's a clean up as Dragon's up a FlyQuest Moon. Oh, he goes down to Contract as Lemon's getting stunned by Syndra. Ace in the hole gonna follow. There should be a second one. FlyQuest, they got the Drake, but it does cost them two.
Yeah, they get the objective, but the fights just keep on coming. 8-8, 13 minutes in. The bad news for FlyQuest is Jensen is on a rampage on Syndra now. He has picked up so many kills through these roams and these skirmishes, and if Syndra gets too far ahead, she simply starts one-comboing people. Like, even though Turtle has an advantage, it's going to be very hard for him to use it if he's just getting zeroed out by Syndra. So here's the play once again. Nice hook on Lemon on the top side. Moon had already secured the dragon, but it's a one-way trip for him, and no way out really for Lemon with his flash down. So a couple kills to trade for Cloud9, and they're able to kind of pressure in the mid lane as well and get a little bit chipped there. So pretty even trade overall. I would definitely say it's Cloud9 favored, unless FlyQuest can really get something with that mountain. Like, if you can take a Baron later because of that, or you can get some more turrets because of that, then maybe it starts to kind of equalize out. Yeah,
we'll have to definitely track this mid lane, because Sneaky and Jensen now 2v0 with the turreters. Everyone's roaming through for Fly. 3 members right now, with Moon off to the side looking for the flank, and even Balls was skating his way top lane from the bot side.
No one really up here to answer Turtle yet, though, and Turtle's going to be getting to this turret pretty quick and will do a lot of damage. So it is going to be the bot lane roaming up to answer. We'll see if FlyQuest wants to try to make a play on this side.
We want to look at kind of advantages overall for the team. We talked about Jensen on the C9 side, but Turtle already with that Infinity Edge finish and about 15 CS lead. He's also looking pretty good on the Triss, so I think FlyQuest have a pretty obvious point of power to play around. But like you said, it can just be scary if Syndra gets to a point where doesn't matter how much farm you have as an AD, you're going to die. And I think Fly's team in general is pretty vulnerable to just having someone explode. They don't really have a true tank.
Yeah, and I mean, they do have Orianna shields, which helps, but there's no locket completed. This is not like a Janna or something like that protecting you. So Turtle does have to be pretty careful if you jump forward and you get Syndra ulted, especially once Jensen actually has his second spell pen item complete. That is going to be a very scary time for the AD carry, so Turtle's going to have to play pretty patiently and likely just try to focus frontline.
So Flyer just setting up around the Rift Herald, or more importantly, this top side of the map to protect Turtle, who's trying to take down yet another turret. Sneaky, they're also getting farm as the waves push in, so they'll probably just sit back and forth, although Lemon waiting patiently in the brush, hoping Sneaky extends, but not this time as he's going to hit the recall button. High still shoving out the mid lane, but talked about double pen items there for Jensen. Now finished. Sorkshoe is going to be joined by Haunting Guys.
And that's such a strong point in the game for him. Super early Morellos, plus double spell pen, plus double level 11, the rank 2 ultimate. Jensen can one combo people pretty much right now, and they are going to have to play very carefully around that. Another nice thing for C9 is the fact that Sneaky, he got the call on the early base, so his gold value is actually not that far behind Wild Turtle because he has actually cashed in on the call. Turtle got solo gold on the first turret, got the kills, got the assists, and has a CS advantage, but he's really only up a little bit.
About 300 gold advantage for Turtle, as Impact gets things shoving down here in the bottom side of the map. He's a bit behind Balls, again, after kind of the fiasco earlier in top side. C9 trying to start an objective here. Looks like FlyQuest are aware of what's happening. And C9 are going to back away.
C9 could use this to start a fight, but the TP's coming in from Balls and no TP to match. Does get canceled.
Nice trap there from Sneaky, but good cancel for Balls. And the Rift Herald's going to return to its den.
I mean, you could just look to start it up again if you actually want to try to fight as Cloud9. They know that Jensen is extraordinarily strong right now, so they may look for that, and we'll see if they go. Hook in.
Oh, actually found Lemon again. Oh, the flash! Not where you want to be. Jensen picks up kill number 5.
And he still has his ult, so they're going to look to force this. Impact is here. Yeah. Jensen's coming.
Jensen ghosted. He's actually just going to go for high. He lets the ulti rip. It's not enough. He needed one more spell. But high burns both his summoners to make sure he gets away.
Yeah, he does get out. I mean, Jensen didn't even use a QWE or anything. Just popped the ult there and didn't have other balls around.
Ooh, not bad from Balls on the ultimate contract, using his own. Got the seat. He's going to get stopped. Turtle chased down, but back to the safety of his tier 2 as even the Meaning Wave gets caught up in the roots.
And C9 can continue to push if they want. They're going to go back to the Rift Herald instead, it looks like, or perhaps just run up to topside to catch that wave, but some ultimates expended. Summoners down now for FlyQuest. They are pushing up mid. It's just Jensen around. It looks like he wants to base instead of trying to knock down this turret.
Yeah.
Pretty low, though. I'm kind of surprised they didn't actually stay to finish that off. Like, mid lane turret, there's usually a lot of priority on this, and it's down to 800 health with the minions just whacking on it. Even Jensen alone might have been able to finish that off.
Yeah, very conservative play from Cloud9. I think maybe recognizing that the game is as even as we can see reflected in the gold leads. So,
and you've got to think, hey, even if we don't get it now, we're going to be able to knock this down very easily pretty soon. When they do that, it will be pretty advantageous for them as it unlocks FlyQuest jungle. They can start to really kind of exercise their vision control around that area and try to really get more wards down and take over, because FlyQuest for now is doing a good job with the vision control, especially around this Rift Herald area, as it has been a focus for Cloud9. And next Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, that's really all Cloud9 territory for now, so we'll see if they want to try to challenge for that.
It's going to be the mascot Drake. Cloud's up in 25 seconds. Leandri's was also finished by Jensen, so he just wanted to spend some money after that kill he got onto Lemon. Cloud9 definitely playing this a little slower than we might expect, but this game's been relatively action-packed in the early stages and still floating around a kill a minute, so things may have slowed down for the last few minutes, but that will not last very long.
Yeah, and Cloud9 has very good scaling. They have a split push thread, and they're actually looking to fight mid lane.
Holding on to Jensen. Balls is going to be able to help Moon with the kill. He does go down as a trade to contract Impact. Moving in, actually going to get one onto high, so
Turtle's here, though.
Want to make, but Turtle just leaps straight into the contract. Contract is going to flash out of the way, but there's another jump attempt by Turtle. He flashes in, flash autos, but it's not enough as Smoothie caught up in the hook, and he's going to go down to Turtle. Could be problems to Sneaky, also trying to fire back with Turtle. Leaping back in, maybe too far forward. Sneaky, now the one that flashed forward. The Q is going to miss his Impact, trying to shoot him down with the pistol. Does get the kill. Balls is forced to flash away. Another mess in the mid lane.
Turtle going so ham there. And the summoner spells, the flash is coming out of Cloud9, denying his actual reset. He couldn't get back out. Does end up going down, and at the end of the fight certainly goes Cloud9's way, but it's a very even trade overall.
I feel like in some ways C9 are channeling the spirit of some of their old friends here, because they are really playing at the same pace as Jensen. Great shockwave from high there.
Yeah, really nice shockwave. Moon goes in to follow up. They take down Jensen quite quickly here, but utilizing the equalizer as well may have been a bit of overkill. He probably was already going down. They just wanted to make sure he did. And now Turtle going super aggressive. They know the Siki has not yet arrived, and this is kind of their time in the fight, but the flash forward not able to get the reset, so Turtle takes a lot of damage. He does get a reset here, but utilized it to actually go in and try to finish off Impact. Unfortunately, Impact still had his flash available, which meant Turtle couldn't get the quick reset and does get chased down for the pocket pistol.
I don't think I've seen anyone die to just a baby-clad Q for a while, but still effective as the Drake goes over to FlyQuest. Jensen trading it for top outer turret. C takes that one down, but more action starting as FlyQuest collapsing onto Smoothie and Sneaky.
Pretty important fight for Impact, though, who had been not able to really get anything going this game, and now picking up a couple kills does put him in a place where he's been catching up in farm. He gets a couple kills. He's actually up in gold now over Balls, and if he can get to that stage where he can be winning those 1v1s, it creates so much pressure on the map, because then you need Moon to be coming and helping to answer that and looking to gank him, and that's really what Cloud9 wants. They want Impact to have lane dominance, feel to threaten the collapse with the ultimate, and to be pressuring side lane turrets.
Yep, Kled pretty close to Titanic, so Impact approaching that point pretty quickly. In fact, recalling now may actually have that purchase. We'll check in once he hits back to the fountain. Ball still working on his Zhonya's, so not too far away, but does need to get a little more gold in order to hit his own 2 items. Yes, Impact did actually have enough gold for that Titanic. So, I mean, we're talking about that split push. I think it may have just arrived here. Obviously, you need to work on maybe tier 2 boots, something like a Stoneblade to really have teamfight presence. But as far as pure 1v1, should be feeling okay, at least until Balls finishes his next item.
Yeah, he certainly should. He may want a little bit of MR as well, just kind of in that side lane. And building towards Stoneblade will give you some of that. He could simply just pick up the Negatron next, and that will help him out a lot against Balls, who is going to be picking up some of the flat pen from the injuries, and you do need to itemize a little bit against that. We'll see if Impact can get any work done in those side lanes now that he has kind of completed those 2 items.
On the other hand, though, AD Carry still racing towards item number 2. Turtle actually has his static shiv already. Sneaky not quite there yet, but does have some gold to spend. Context lets the ulti go.
The fight coming in.
Oh,
but
from the other side, Impact actually does find Balls, but he's kind of 1v5 right now. Impact still skirting around the edge of the fight. C9 trying to find a way in, but Fly disengaging well. Now C9 going to run down mid instead. They already took the turret. The outer did fall finally. But FlyQuest have to take the safe way back towards this tier 2 turret.
It's going to be hard for them to get in, though. They're completely zoned out. You can't really walk through the Caitlyn traps, and I don't think that they're going to have much success going in here.
Try and fight high, looking with a shockwave, does find only on a Sneaky, who's taking turret shots, but Impact just takes down high. He's ripping through the back of this team fight. Balls goes down on the other side, but he does take down Sneaky with the ult turtle, able to take down Impact, but Jensen gets that counter kill. And now Lemon's still low, Moon going to try and get out of the way. Very split fight, but C9 come out ahead.
Yeah, it's a 3 for 2 for Cloud9, but they have the health and they can continue pushing. There's not really any strong members left on the map here for FlyQuest. This is just a full tank J4 and then Lemonation, so the turret gonna fall here as well. We'll see if they can get some vision down around Baron, but it's a very tough engage for FlyQuest to actually pull off through those traps and through the saplings that had already been placed down by Cloud9.
Well, 4,000 gold ahead now for C9 as they've kind of started to pull ahead out of the chaos that was the early game. Jensen not going to get cancelled. Moon checks, but no vision to try and cancel the recalls. We'll watch this engage again.
So here's the play again, and they are kind of split up. They're trying to pull up a flank, but it's the carry's kind of coming in from the back. And look at Impact's damage down on the high. I mean, he just crushes through high by himself there, and then Balls cannot survive the onslaught against Jensen. So the carries in the back all getting taken down. And while Moon and Lemonation are still alive, if those were the guys that you wanted kind of soaking up the damage and protecting that front line, allowing them to free fire, unfortunately they weren't really fully coordinated on that fight, and engaging through the trap line is very, very difficult.
And again, we look down to Jensen's items as Turtle goes back in onto Sneaky, never mind. Ace in the hole, going to turn that around. Big damage on the Turtle, but Elimination going to pick him to safety with a lantern, and Sneaky's starting to say, all right, you got to stop your shenanigans there,
Jensen
buddy.
is here too. They could actually get this.
Heal already committed. Good buster shot there, but Smoothie might still be able to weave a hook through. Minion's going to block that off, though. Flash in from Jensen, just going to let the ulti go. Goodbye. Contract's up here also. Going to let the ulti as C9 look for the hook, find Balls there. Power Fist knocks him up, and the root from Contract should seal it. Equalizer bust on his for Balls, but he's sitting on a trap. That's a kill for Jensen once more as high. Hula hooped. Shockwave under the turret. I think he wanted Balls, but Balls was already dead.
Yeah, everything is falling apart, and your TPing away just into die as Impact continues the split push. C9 can continue sieging on both sides, and Impact very quickly is going to be on the inhibitor turret as he still has a minion wave here. Cloud9 looking to pressure both top and bottom hibs at the same time. That fight very disjointed for FlyQuest, and a Turtle going pretty aggressive, trying to get that kill on a Siki, trying to make something happen. It doesn't pan out, and they end up being punished pretty heavily for it because he was so low and just gets zeroed out by Jensen.
Well, that's 6 turrets to 1 now as C9 regroup back towards the Baron. Impact did have to pull off that push in the bot side, but as a Drake up in a minute that both teams can look for. Sneaky's now finished his 3 items as he returns from base, and we saw the Ludens just help out Turtle. Help out Jensen there trying to kill Turtle.
And here's Turtle, he's trying to go for kind of the big play, but he gets a little bit too close, takes turret shot, gets chunked pretty low by Sneaky, and then Cloud9 fully on the chase, looking to catch out Turtle here, and he's so low that even though Smoothie can't actually find the angle for the hook, Jensen simply flash R, and there's nothing that Turtle can do. There's no protection really coming out of Lemonation because he doesn't have a lock completed, he doesn't have base of the mount, there's no shielding to actually get anything done, and then Balls completing that TP. The team is zoned out by this Maokai ultimate, and yeah, he did try to throw the shield in and use that for the shockwave, but everything kind of going wrong for FlyQuest.
Yep. Again, all those tier 2 turrets now gone. FlyQuest only have Nexus and Inhibitor turrets left. to defend here. Hook land on a contract, but he is real tanky at this stage.
Closing in on 3 items there is Contracts, and Cloud9 does have some pretty good vision control in the red side jungle of FlyQuest. They can look to utilize that to try to pressure around the Baron, but the Infernal Dragon coming up now is a pretty big ticket objective. And Cloud9 knows that they are much stronger. They can set up a trap line. They can set up the Maokai saplings in the brush, and they should be able to grab up this Infernal very, very easily. But FlyQuest making a call. They're actually moving over towards the Baron.
Oh,
they're split.
Gross. High had a badge, and I don't think he can get out. Jensen! Oh my goodness, just deletes High.
I mean, High just kind of checked that by himself while 3 men were going to Baron, and Balls is back by the base defending the minion wave. So High was trying to greed out the blue buff. I think he felt that the full 5-man squad was on the Infernal and maybe thought he needed that mana to actually defend the base, but now with him down, there's not a lot of wave clear, so the Rumble ult has to be expended.
Yep, Bolts uses it for the turret, already taking too many hits. Cannon Creep stays alive for just long enough for C9 to take that down that turret. Mid-inhib will fall with it, and FlyQuest woefully behind at this stage.
Yeah, and it's an easy retreat right back to the Baron, but Lemon getting hooked in, he's gone.
Too aggressive. Contracts gets that kill, and FlyQuest trying to throw themselves a little too eagerly at Cloud9.
Yeah, it's all kind of just gone apart, and Jensen looking for the kill here on Moon, and Moon is full tank, but he's not going to stand up to this.
He already knows it. It's pretty unlikely he's getting away from this. Stun lance from Jensen. Sneaky just firing shots in, and that's going to be the final one. That's 3 quick kills for C9, and they already took the in-him, plus they got the Infernal.
And the jungler is down. That means Baron is certainly on the table, but they have the ability to actually just look for a fight instead. We'll see if they try to collapse the mid. They're going to go straight for the Baron, and FlyQuest, I don't think they can really do anything about this. They will get the mid lane turret. We'll see if they can get anything more, because they are going to be so insanely behind off of this, and if they stay around too long, Cloud Ultimate's going to be up soon, and Cloud9 could look to chase them down.
Yeah, maybe too aggressive kill. If Fly are going to be able to exit safely enough. Baron did go over to FlyQuest, so, to C9 as FlyQuest is staying around for a little while longer, hoping somebody would check the jungle.
I think it's a pretty smart play. You're looking for picks at this point if you're FlyQuest. That is really the only way you win is finding someone kind of wandering off by themselves, getting a really advantageous fight in that way. But look how intelligently Cloud9 is moving around. They're a big tank in the front line. Smoothie up there as well. They're clearing out vision. Cloud coming in. They're looking for the engage on High.
On High again. Contract zooming forward. Righteous Glory goes off. Elimination puts up the box just to defend. So an ulti burn there for Impact and an item cooldown for Contracts, but at least High gets away safely.
Yeah, it's a good disengage there from FlyQuest, but they can start up the split again. Impact going over to the top side. The 4-man C9 squad is prepping minions on the bot side. You can see that 3 of them are getting vision, while Sneaky is pushing the wave. This is very intelligent. You don't need the full squad there to actually get that going, so get the vision controlled, set up this split push, and FlyQuest is really going to have to look for an engage and try to fully commit to one side, pick off either the 4-man squad if they're really good engage, or try to look to collapse and kill Impact off before the 4-man squad can kill off their base. And it's going to be very difficult to do either of those because there's the front line, because they have created all this vision around FlyQuest base.
Oh, good hook again from Smoothie. Just maybe take out Moon. He's going to go down. Sneaky able to snipe him.
Even as a full tank, he can't stand up at all, and the inhibitor's going down. They're looking for High.
Yep, High again running out of the way, but turret's going to fall, and Hib will join it soon, and Impact all the while just getting that top lane pushing. Cloud9 at Baron buff for a minute 45 still. FlyQuest base very much under threat.
I think this is just going to be it. There's no way they can hold on.
That Contract splashes in, looks to take down High. They just need to kill some of the wave clearers. Impact, he's able to get their kill. Fly flashing back to their founder, but Smoothie plucks balls out. Not enough to kill him, but Total again going aggressive, just trying to take down Sneaky, but that's going to cost him Jensen. Able to take him down with the ultimate. Lemon gets rooted by a trap, and the Nexus now exposed. FlyQuest retreat fully back to their fountain and going to have to regroup because Cloud9 going to take down a very, very fun game number 1.
So many kills in this one. 36 kills in 30 minutes. It was definitely very exciting. FlyQuest made him work for it in the early game, but it seems to be the story time and time again. They cannot really hold up in the later stages of the game. They cannot convert advantages that they have secured into meaningful objectives, into meaningful mid and late game leads. You know, Balls had a great play on the top side. C9 took a poor fight. You know, Impact had not bought. He essentially gets a 1v2 double kill. He has a lead up there. The bot lane is going very well for FlyQuest as well. The Turtle and Elimination, they get first turret. They're bullying lane, they're up CS, they're up kills, but what can they get off of that? And it never really feels like much for FlyQuest.
And the thing was, when FlyQuest were doing this, last split. Maybe not this time last split, but earlier last split, it was working for them. And it just feels like their identity hasn't shifted very much, and teams have finally adapted, or pretty quickly adapted, I should say, to that playstyle. So, I mean, we've seen it work for them before, but the execution has just not been the same for FlyQuest.
No, it just really hasn't quite been there. And you got to give a lot of credit to Jensen. I mean, making it so difficult for the carries. He's 11-1-5 on Syndra, and it's so hard for Turtle to enter the fight with his lead and not just get 100-0'd by the Syndra. We
saw that time and time again. And for a deeper dive into that game, let's check in with Dash and Mark.
Thank you very much, Pastry. I mean, what a way to start the day, first of all.
Yeah, if you were tired coming in, you're awake now.
You're awake now. You're paying attention. That was an absolutely absurd number of kills per minute. We were like just cresting over 1 kill per minute for the entirety of the game. But, you know, what goes along with scrappy games with like that, you know, it becomes difficult analysis. It's hard to kind of parse through and say, well, which of these teams is really doing things correctly and which of these teams is just kind of out fighting the other one?
And that was definitely the case. I mean, you have a lot of playmaking in both team comps. They can kind of go in multiple times, lots of engage tools. Overall, I did like mostly what C9 was doing with their draft. And then you just end up with the situation where, all right, well, draft's going to get thrown out the window a little bit when we start playing like this.
Yeah.
And you just see right away, level 2 all in onto C9's bot lane. Nice hook by Smoothie to make this one a little bit scary. Lemon has to kind of go in to finish that kill off. That leaves him exposed. They get a trade kill. Up on the top side, Impact took a horrendous fight after having, you know, like we were saying in the draft, a good counter pick. So that's why we're saying things start going out the window.
Exactly. It hadn't bought, so therefore Balls was able to pull off the 1v2. Back down into the bot lane again. When you've got a support meta like Blitz and Thresh, you're sure to have plenty of fights in the bot lane. And this is all to showcase, again, how scrappy this game was. But then I want to talk about how to execute within scrappy games and why is it that when kills are being traded back and forth, C9 is slowly accumulating a lead. They're slowly edging out a victory.
It's one of those situations where not all fights are created equal, where a lot of times C9, when they were fighting, they were either on FlyQuest side of the map, or they were making sure that they could transition into an objective afterwards. So if they want to fight around the top side, they were able to actually take a turret with it. And even though at some point I think it was like 10 to 12 kills or 12 to 10 kills on C9 side, they had a 3K gold lead off the fact that they had 3 turrets to 1.
It also helps when you've got Jensen on your team, right? Because everybody else is trading kills back and forth. CS numbers were relatively even right around that 15-minute mark, except for in that mid lane. Through all of this, Jensen somehow finds his way to 4-0-1 at 15 minutes with a 24 CSD and therefore netting a 1.1K gold lead over High.
Yeah, this is one of those games where literally everyone is dying except the man in the mid lane. And this kind of goes back to some of those criticisms you heard, and he had an interview about it where people were saying he's a KDA player, but like, look at this game. He's getting involved in the kills. He's playing aggressive.
Right.
He's just playing better than everyone.
Exactly. And again, so then when you talk, we have that conversation around MVP that we kicked off today. And Jensen, in my opinion, is still very much at the forefront of that conversation. Even while C9 has had struggling weeks, this guy continues to perform on champions like Syndra. So therefore, it's no surprise he also picks up player of the game for his performance here in game 1. Going to have to do a similar thing moving into game 2 if they want to take this series cleanly. But now I want to, and that's where I want to kind of transition to what we'd expect in game 2. Because for FlyQuest, the scrappiness didn't work, right? You didn't have the kind of control over the map and the waves, as you mentioned, to capitalize on those few skirmishes that you did win.
I think it's one of those situations where it felt like they gave up a lot, and they did get stuff that they liked, but you find them, okay, you have a Maokai and a Caitlyn on a team, something that should almost never happen, you would say, given the priority of those 2 champions. You also have a Syndra for Jensen, and then lastly, yeah, you got counterpicked from the top side where they get the Kled into the Rumble. So I think on the side of FlyQuest, like, I like the idea of just playing super aggressive and pulling C9 into your kind of game, because you saw they had a 2,500 gold lead around 10 minutes from this style, but the problem is you were just so heavily out-comped that at some point they start losing this game.
All right, so yeah, so maybe an adjustment to the comp for FlyQuest, but you want to see them continue to push the pace and play that same style.
Right, I think that definitely plays into FlyQuest, because way back, if you cast your mind back to the early Civil Wars that we had between these 2 teams.
Right, Spring Split.
Yeah, Spring Split Civil Wars, these were super hyped up matches, and they were also very aggressive, very scrappy like this, because it feels like, whether or not it's because these guys are kind of teammates and they have that little bit of extra fight in them.
Well, the video to open the show today, High's like, it's nice to kill any ADC, but it's definitely better to kill Sneaky.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the extra motivation, these games do seem to kind of devolve into these more fight-centric styles.
Right.
And I think that, like we said, that plays into exactly what FlyQuest wants to do. It just would be a little bit better if they now on blue side can secure themselves a couple more of these strong champions.
I mean, that being the case, I feel like Maokai priority does shoot through the roof, right? If I'm looking to fight and fight constantly, Maokai is the kind of champion that enables me to do so whenever I want. Because yes, the ultimate is super powerful and useful, but the W is just as impactful, and it's on a cooldown that's exceptionally low. So we can start fights every 15, every 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about how that might be one of the low-key, most broken abilities ever in League of Legends, is the Maokai W. And the other thing is, he's got a great passive for that. As people are casting spells around him, he can sustain himself up. So he actually ends up, despite being kind of like this tank and stable champion a lot of the time, he does actually lend pretty well to a very scrappy style. And a lot of their other picks that they like playing as well. If you want to play the Thresh, you want to play a Morgana, you want to play a Jhin, a lot of these champions can kind of go for that kind of aggressive style.
Right. No, I actually loved the FlyQuest composition in terms of champions for those players, right? You've got Balls on one of his signatures. Hai's a fantastic Orianna, as you mentioned. The Thresh to enable some plays. The Maokai is where I'm wondering where, whose hands is it going to end up in this time? Of course, FlyQuest moves over to blue side, so perhaps they'll make a stab for it as first priority. It was back and forth at first. C9 comes away with the win here in the end. Let's see if FlyQuest can even up the score when we come back for Game 2. See you soon.